What's in here? Now then, people, good evening and welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. It's the international break. There's only 8 games left to go, and what I wanted to do is a bit of a player ratings for the season, because as soon as the season finishes, we're all going to be eyes on the Premier League, and it'll all be transfer stuff and all that sort of stuff. There's only 8 games left. I think we've got a fair barometer of someone standing at this stage of the season and what they'll probably go on to do. So I thought it's a perfect time to do it in the last international break. I've got Jack and Locky with me to do this. These 2 lads are free. Andrea's busy and Luke's out on the on the lash. I don't know where that came from. Yeah. He's out on the Raz. That's where I was going with that. So yeah, we're going to do that. I'll explain what we're going to do in just a sec. But before I do, let's say hello to the lads. Jack, how's things?
All right, sir. Thank you very much for the invite, as always. Appreciated.
Defo. You good? Have you had a good day?
Yeah, I was out last night. I had night off. I went to Manchester with my brother to go watch a
game. Yeah, of course.
Game,
yeah. How was it?
It wasn't great, to be honest.
So I saw him in Sunderland about 4 years ago, I think, at Rainton Meadows Arena, and there was hardly anybody there. Jack, come on.
Really?
Compared to when I saw him at Manchester Apollo when he was top tier, when he was when How We Love It and all that had come out. But now in England, I don't know, what was it? Is it that's what it was like?
It was busy, but it was with a band, and I don't want to be that guy, but it's not set up that way. Hip hop music really, so it needs a bit of a backing track. And it was all,
where was it?
It were at Victoria Warehouse in Manchester, mint venue.
There,
oh, is it really? Yeah. Oh no way!
You could get a seat if I put win.
It's a mint venue. Yeah, it normally sounds mint, but just one. It didn't. No, it didn't. So it's a shame. I've seen him about 8 times. One of my favourite artists. So
yeah, man.
Yeah.
He's good. Oh, well, that's a shame, mate, but at least you went. So I bet you had a good night, though, eh?
Yeah, I was with my brother, so we just had a laugh, to be fair.
Good stuff. What about you, Locky? How's things?
Yeah, good, mate. I've been just getting ready for the game, doing as much running as possible, a bit of exercise to get ready to win.
Yeah, I hear.
Charity game, clarify.
Yeah, charity game, man. We're there, aren't we? We're there. I've got eyes on you both. If you send us your resume, I'll see if I can I get you picked and all that. Oliver said Jack City should have given me a shout, and you, Locky. There you go. Oliver must be in and around the same areas as well. There you go. Right. So what we're gonna do, folks? We're not just gonna normal bog standard. What rating would you give them? Oh, we're gonna give them a 7. All right, okay, and then just move on. So basically, I've got a few categories that we're gonna touch on with each player. Impact will be the first one. So how significantly did the player influence games? Did they elevate the team's performance? Second one's going to be consistency, because we've seen performances drop in and out from some. Expectations, so how have they done against their expectations at the start of the season? What numbers they've got, be that appearances, G&A, etc., the normal stuff. Durability, can they stay fit and healthy, and have they been able to? Team contribution, so did their presence make the team better overall? Growth and development, so has the player improved from previous season? And lastly, clutch performance. Some of them will be weighted, so we're going to do numbers. So, for example, if they get a 5 on the numbers, we're going to times that by 1.5 just so it increases their overall score. Same with clutch performance. If they've come up with a big moment that's won us a game, then fair enough. I think that should be weighted. Then what we'll do is we'll add them all up, divide them by how many topics there are, and it'll give us a score for their overall player ratings, and then we can see who comes out on top. I hope that's not too confusing. Are you excited? I think it's good, innit? Rather than just going, let's 5. You know what I mean? Yeah. Right. Where do we start in terms of playing time? Is it right for a player who's played 7 games and not started any in Isaac Schmidt? Can we?
Nah.
No. Yeah.
Personally.
Gulavogi, 13 no starts. Bamford, 10 no starts. Rutter, definitely not. I mean, although he got an assist in his 1 game in the league, Rutter, to be fair to him. Max Voba, or do we start with Largie Ramazani and then move up because everyone else from there has got... Largie Ramazani's got 25 games, 7 starts, and the rest increased. So do we start from Largie?
Where's Byram?
Byram has 14 starts, 29 games.
I feel like we can do Byram. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, I think Byram deserves to be in there. He's been a important part of the side.
Maybe around Byram, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So we're sacking off Ramazani?
Oh, is he less than Byram?
Yeah, he's the lowest.
All right.
Yeah,
go with that.
Sorry, so, if I go on by matches played, the lowest actually, we'll start. So Gruev 17, Ampadu 21, Ramazani 25. So I think Gruev, if we start from Gruev and up, yeah? I think that's fair enough. So let's do that then. Let's get stuck into it. Let's start with Ilia Gruev. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go around so everyone gets an opportunity to go first. So Jack, we'll start with you, mate. In terms of impact for Ilia Gruev, where do you land? Where do you land on obviously he's spent periods of the season injured, but has he, for you, influenced games? What's his impact been, and how would you rate it?
It's quite a difficult one to start with, to be fair, on Gruev, isn't it? So thanks for coming straight to me. But
I mean, I could start us off if you want, because I'm
only messing. I'm only messing, but it is an interesting one, Gruev, isn't it? Because influence on games is, how much does he influence games in general, really, from his position? I know he sort of does, but to be honest, I'd go round middle for Gruev. So if, are we doing just whole numbers? It'll be.
Yeah. Let's do whole numbers, and then it'll give us a point.
I think it'd be a bit harsh to go lower than 3 for him, really, on that.
Yeah. I think what's interesting, though, like for me, in terms of his impact in games, I would argue it could even be more. And the reason I say that is because he's used for specific games in specific moments. If we look at the record that we had with Rothwell and Tanaka away from home, we didn't win. He came back from injury, came straight in, and then bam, did we get a 0-0 against Burnley with him there, I think, playing? And he was tasked with just marking Brownhill. I swear, Farker said to him, look, I want you on Brownhill. And if you remember, Josh Brownhill didn't have any impact on that game, which is unlike him. Yeah, very good in that game. So
he was quality when he came back.
Yeah.
Remember we spoke about that quite a bit on Final Word, didn't we?
Yeah. What do you reckon, Locky, in terms of impact?
It's not. If they say it's an impact, I think initially your brain goes to all the attacking stuff he does.
Yeah.
But obviously, Gruev's not that guy. But for what he asked him to do, I think it's fair to say, maybe not 1 or 2, but most of them, I think he's impacted well what he's done.
Yeah.
And he did all last year as well. I think, but still, I think he could have been better in a few games. I think 3 is a decent score,
Yeah, no, I think that's fair enough as well. Locky, I'll let you come in on consistency then. Is he consistent, or have we... I guess it's hard, isn't it? Because the fan base will tell you he's rubbish, he doesn't do no... he's consistent sideways passer or whatever. But in the games that he's played, which, as I said, I think he's had 17 starts, mate, to be precise.
This is it, though. With consistency, could you argue being injured is... That's
true. Yeah.
You're not there. So I know it's harsh, but I guess in a way, he's not been available for a lot of the season. It's not his fault, but that is a bit, you know what I mean? So
yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, again, I was looking at the things here. He started the season, he played almost every minute. Obviously, before Tanaka came in, was fairly decent for what I can remember back then. Yeah, I think he is a consistent performer, Gruev. I think that's what he is. I think that's what he always has been.
Steady Eddie.
Yeah. I think sometimes it's just the little things can be slight, like you can't really get into a game, stuff like that. But he's always there. He's always done all right. So again, I think consistency. But again, he has missed games through injury. I think 3's fair. I think 3's fair.
Middle of the road, eh?
Kind of something, isn't it? Yeah, it's the middle. Doing his thing, yeah.
I think we'll give him a 3 then. So for expectations, it's difficult with Gruev. I don't know what the expectations of Ilia were. It's
more of the same with Gruev, isn't it?
Yeah. He hasn't dropped off, has he? He hasn't dropped off.
No. It was interesting actually. Pre-season, there's 2 different player interviews, and they're getting asked questions about. I think it was not Archie. One of the lads who left, it might have been Rutter. He asked who's been impressing in training, and he said Gruev. I think he was sat with Byram. I can't remember. So the players clearly expected a lot from him this season, but the injury again, I think you can put that into it. That as effective is what you expect him to do. Realistically, you expected him to start. You expected him to play every minute. And even now, he's back, but he's not played every minute. So I might give that a 2, to be honest. I don't know if that's harsh. What you guys think?
No, I think. Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I think he's not quite because it was that is what he is, isn't it? Like we're saying, he's expected to be in the side and available every week. That's what you want from him, really. So
no, I think that's fair.
He's not reached his expectation, has he? Yeah.
No. We'll go numbers, right? And obviously, it is difficult for a player in his position, but I don't think it's wild to put 0 on. The reason I say that is because one area of the game that maybe he is asked to be strong in is corners, because he has taken them, was taking them before Rothwell, was taking set pieces, has done in the past. I don't know. Have we scored one from a Gruev cross? I'm not too sure. I mean, he hasn't got any assists, but I know he will have taken a hell of a lot of corners before Rothwell was getting into the side on a regular basis.
Yeah.
He'll have taken set pieces. And
it's not like, I know we're not very good in the air, but it's not like he's been delivering it on a pin and you just think, well, we can't score. So he's not very good on them, is he?
Yeah. And I guess a player in his position is always going to be weighted low here, but unless you're a Rodri.
Do you know what it is though, Joe? I take it what Farker said in his press the other day. Sorry, it's not my test. When he was talking about Tanaka, and obviously we'll get into him in a bit, but about he wants his midfield to score goals. He does want that, and I think that's the same for Gruev as well. Because the way we play, even when we're in possession and the team is sitting back, both midfielders are very high. They are quite high, and they do get in shooting opposition. So,
Tanaka scores. Tanaka scores, doesn't he?
He does. So I think he should shoot more. Even his free kicks this season. He's not been on many, but he's had a few, and they've been pretty poor. So,
in comparison, mate, Tanaka's got 4 goals, 2 assists. Joe Rothwell's got 4 assists. Gruev 0-0.
It's not his thing, but I think it's fair to say he could shoot more. He could make those passes every now and again more.
Just breaking into box and stuff. And we sort of agreed at the start of the season he has been asked to do that more. He was breaking.
In pre-season, he was getting so forward as well.
Yeah, he was. So you'd think he'd just be picking a ball up in a decent area and getting summit, but
because he can hit him, because he showed us that with that free kick.
Great left foot.
Definitely. So we're happy with 0. Yeah. Well, yeah.
0.
No,
I mean, I guess.
It is. It's a really 0, boy. I feel harsh. No, it's got to be a 0. He's got to do more.
He had a single shot this season? I don't think he has, so you could probably argue it is a 0 too.
So is that XG? He's got an XG of 0.8, Locky.
Right, yeah, 0.
And he's got, what's the XAG? Expected assisted goals is 1.3.
Okay, that's not great, yeah.
So he's got 2.1 where they both join.
Argue it could be a little higher even for his role. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah. Poor. 0.
You choose. Yeah, I'll let you.
Yeah,
choose.
I'm gonna go 0. Yeah. Durability. How many times has he been injured? Twice or just the once? Is it?
One big long one, wasn't it?
One big long one. Where do we go?
Last season played a lot but it's this season and he's been injured.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's got to be bad, hasn't it? It's not his fault.
Yeah, 0.
I can't go quite to 0 on that though.
He has played.
I'm up for it, Joe. He's brilliant for it. Keep them zeros flying in. brother.
I don't want to get to end of it and go, our player of the season is Ilia Gruev.
Yeah.
No, but okay, he's played the lowest of the most regular though. 17 games, 14 starts.
Yeah, but on durability, it's just he's had one injury, and then he's come back, and it's not like he's not been a problem child, has he? Where
no,
he breaks down every few weeks. To be fair to him, he got back from the injury and he was available, and still is available. Fair. So he's recovering, in that sense.
He probably came back earlier as well, Jack, than he was expected.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So he came straight into the side, no messing. He went straight back to the top level, wasn't he? We're good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was out a while, but yeah, Jack's right. Came in, and he looked fine, didn't he? When he came in, he didn't. Ampadu looked slow when he came back, didn't he? But Gruev looked solid.
5.
I don't know.
You go no, I go 5.
2.
2. I think
2. Is that fair?
2. Don't mind 2. Yeah.
2.
He was out for a long time. To be fair.
He was, yeah. Okay, well, next one's team contribution. So beyond individual stats, how did they contribute to a team's success with the chemistry, unselfish play? Did their presence make our teammates better? And I would argue this is where we talk about impact again. Similarly, we hadn't won a game away from home for almost 2 months. It was something like that. And he came in and he rectified that. He changed that without... And you could argue even that QPR game where he gets dropped and the manager's like, we were far too open. And people have mentioned how, would that goal have happened had he have been there? With Aronson, would it have even been Aronson getting on the ball in that scenario? We probably miss him when he's not there. And when he is there, even if you just look at that Burnley game, Josh Brownhill was anonymous. Josh Brownhill was scoring all the time at Burnley. He proper did a job on him. So... I think he deserves a decent-ish score for team contribution for me. And getting back early, and getting in there, getting amongst it.
Also, I think, your team contribution can be how sure everybody else is when you're there. So that there's a solidity to us, isn't there? So that players can go and express themselves a little bit more on the basis that, Firpo loves getting forward, but I'm sure he loves it when Gruev's about.
Yeah, of course.
He sort of sits towards him, doesn't he, a little bit? He'll be very aware that Firpo's off. So Gruev will have it. He's very that way minded. So he definitely contributes.
Yeah, players love him. I think. Like you see when he won the second place award in the Bulgarian player thing, and all the players are tall and Terminator and all this stuff. So I think it's very appreciated in the team. Is what he contributes to it. Farke loves him as well, and what he does. He's just solid and he's decent. He moves the ball pretty quick. So.
And he never loses it and stuff. I know that's not what we're talking about, but, even like Tanaka's better on the ball than Gruev, but he has lost it a couple of times, and Rothwell does, and Ampadu even does. But Gruev, to be fair to him, I know everybody will go sideways passes, but he doesn't lose it it's a bad area to lose the ball in it, and he doesn't, so.
That's fair, Sorry, lads, I'm just trying to, I'm just trying to work out how to do the cells on spreadsheet, how to make them all add up so it does it for me at the end instead of me going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So team contribution, what did we settle on? 2 or 3?
Got to be 3 for me.
I think 3,
yeah. Cool. Growth and development. I think he's just stayed as he is, right?
Yeah. I think he had, but he's not played as much. I might go 2 for that. I think even with this one's a bit weird because even if it's a 3, you're not saying he stayed the same. 3's kind of higher up. You kind of got a little better, I think. I'd say 2 for this one, just because he did miss a lot of injury.
Do we give someone a score for that if they haven't though? I don't. This is just 0, isn't it? And that's not a bad thing. Do you know what I mean?
As long as we're consistent with all the players.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if we do it like that,
it stayed the same.
0.
0, exactly.
5's a huge improvement, and 0's we've not moved.
Yeah, exactly.
Minus is regressed.
Yeah. I don't think he's had any clutch moments, has he?
Not since the playoffs.
Yeah, 0. Okay, perfect. So that he's got a score of 13. 13 is Ilia Gruev, right? Moving on then, Ethan Ampadu, right? So we're back. Locky, you can go first. Impact Does he influence games? Does he elevate the team's performance?
For me, top 3 in the team, just based on the fact that he's the captain as well. And we've seen when he's not been here for the second half of the season, it's impacted us, the mental side of it. You know, going to the ref, setting the standards on the team, all that stuff. The intensity has dropped. So I think, you know, I'm not going to. I think it's a 5. I think he's an excellent player as well. I do. Look, I know people concerned with him slowing it down, so I think that's regressed massively this season, to be honest. Yeah. Especially when he came back after his knee injury. I think he was on it when he started there.
I think as well, mate. Once someone says something, it then becomes a thing, and it isn't a thing. I don't think that is that much of a thing, mate. You know, personally, I don't. No, I don't. But yeah, 5, Jack. Do you agree?
I might be biased, so let me know.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Do you agree, Jack?
Well, if you're biased, Locky, I definitely am, because I think his impact on team is immeasurable.
Yeah.
So it would be a 5. We've obviously needed him more, but that's what the other categories are for. So
yeah, I think as well, I would agree with you, because you know some people, for example, assumed that he wouldn't be that much of a miss and all that, and we can see he's been a massive miss.
It's when it's got hard, you know, when we've been wobbling. It's like, I'm doing there. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
When it's all rosy, it's all right, isn't it? Obviously, but yeah,
exactly. Yeah, no, 5. I think that's fair enough. Consistency then, when he has played, have we seen the same level? So I would say we have. I don't. When Ampadu plays, I don't think he's up and down like some are. I think he's just a bit like Rodan.
I think he started poor this season, to be honest. I think the armband at the start was he was a bit. When he came back from injury, he was different. I think he grew into it. He understood it more. Maybe he's spoken to some people, but I do think, I don't know if you guys agree, but I think he started a little slow the season. I think the squad did, but I remember just making videos and I was a bit critical of him, to be honest. So, and then I agree, when he came back from his injury, I think he's been outstanding. Actually, I think he was excellent every game, even if he did make that mistake against Sunderland. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I suppose when you mention mistakes, so you can't be getting a 5 if you have had errors. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's fair to make that comment.
And it did take him a few. I'm being super critical, but it did take him a few games to get back from injury. We were saying about how we can straight back in. So you know, and that's just nature.
Played him right back, didn't he, to get him ready?
Yeah,
back. Yeah,
you were off it there, weren't you?
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah. So do we reckon 4?
I would have said
or is
3.
that too high? 3?
Personally.
3. I'm cool with 3. Yeah.
Deciding vote, Jack.
Go on, Jack.
No, I'll go with 3.
Yeah. Okay. Expectations. So, did the player exceed, or fall short of his expectations?
You know what? This one's hard because again, you could argue because he's missed a lot of the season. He's not been.
And these all factors we have to take.
He's not been that presence on the pitch because he's not been there, and he's injured again. So you expected him to play every minute, didn't you, at the start of the season?
And he's had to play centre back again. And I know that's not his fault, but we haven't had the Ethan Ampadu in the centre of the park in the 6 for 46 games, have we?
None of it's the injuries are not his fault, but it's what we're looking at, right? Yeah. So I think, I don't know, maybe now I think that one could be fair.
It's Danny, look, told you it sticks. -2, he slows them all down so much.
I don't think we're being harsh on him. I just think he's not met his own expectation.
I think he'd agree when he
set your own standard to that, don't you? Because you could be like, "Oh my word, he's exceeded expectation," but because we didn't think much of him, but because we rate him so highly, it's like he's not been at that. Even though he has in a few games, and we really want him back, and that it's interesting. It's a difficult one, that.
And the fact that he's second on this list, I think, proves.
That's great.
Yeah, that's true.
He should be top of this, shouldn't he?
Really. Yeah, he should have. You make a great point.
2, mate.
2. That's
fair.
I'm
happy with that. I think that's fair enough. Yeah.
Okay. Numbers. Again, it's got to be a 0, hasn't it? He's had an opportunity in set pieces as well. He's when the ball has been put in, he's been one of the centre backs at times that's absolutely sent it the wrong way. 50p head vibes. So
he's got to prove that. I think he's got to improve.
Yeah.
Stuff. I think they all do, apart from maybe 1 or 2. But they're all bad. So yeah.
0.
Okay. I mean, obviously, his numbers are decent, but we're looking at
Yeah.
They
Like
there's-
significant contributing numbers. Do you know what I mean? In a sense. What about durability then? Gruev's been involved in 17, Ampadu 21. Gruev started 14, Ampadu 18. So there's not much between them, really. Does
what
he?
did he do, Gruev?
2? I don't know. I don't think you can say he
And
warrants
Ampadu's still out. Isn't
Yeah, I don't think he warrants a 3, does he? Do we just go same?
Yeah, 2.
Yeah.
Two injuries as well.
Yeah.
I'd potentially go. I think that's a bit harsh on Gruev, really. On that, in that sense, because if he's getting same as Gruev, Ampadu's been out twice. There's also like you're really breaking the season up here.
What do you reckon then? 1.
To be fair, I'll go with 2. I'm happy with 2. It's just in reference to Gruev. Do you know what I mean?
I know what I mean.
It's been a miss, twice, and it's like we need. You know what I mean? It's like we're pining for him a little bit more. So it's like we could have missed Gruev really, and not. It would be less of a. I'm waffling. 2.
No, I hear what you say. I do get what you're saying. Let's talk about team contribution then. So we this is looking at beyond them individual stats. How does he contribute to the team's success? Did their presence make their teammates better? I think when he is fit, when he does play, like we've said, look how much we're missing. We can get by, we're missing a winger, a fullback. But like him now, does that 2-0 lead slip against QPR? I'm not so sure. There's moments where we could have done with him 100%. He didn't play down at Portsmouth, did he, where we get beat 1-0? He didn't play in that game, and we got
the
bodied.
Manager said he's our most important player.
Yeah.
I think that says it all, really.
Is it? It's not 5, is it?
What was the category again? What was the exact?
Team contribution.
Team contribution. Is it what he's done or what he?
Yeah. So beyond how's he contributed this season as well?
All right.
To the team's success. I don't think it's a 5 because of that, but
won a lot without him.
Yeah, exactly. So I think 4's right. Do you? Because of how much we missed him, or again, is that high, Jack?
I think 4's all right because I think even when, and I don't want to be that guy, but when he's not even on the pitch, I think he remains the skipper, doesn't he? Like, well,
he goes to games, doesn't he?
Yeah,
you don't always have to.
And I think he will be the standard bearer. I do think he'll be the one drilling it, keeping everybody focused and what have you. So,
yeah, no, I think that's fair. Growth and development next. So, did the players show improvement in skills, decision making, or maturity over the season? Based on,
I think as a leader, he has.
Yeah.
Obviously not as a player. He's been injured, but I think quite different, isn't it, in the way he's grown? I think as a leader, he has. Like I said, I think at the start of the season, I don't think he got it yet, that leadership side of it. But I think since he came back, I do think he massively grew into the armband. But then the player side of it, he's been injured, so
yeah. I wouldn't say he's progressed on as a player on the basis that he's had too many injuries, but I definitely think that's a valid point with Locky saying there because it's big boots to fill as well, and he is doing. He's stepping up, so he's grown as a human.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So how are we looking at numbers wise? What do we reckon? 1, 2, 3?
Still pretty low for me that but
same.
I think
2.
2's fair because again we're doing it from 0 to 5, aren't we, for this?
Yeah.
2's fair because just that side of it.
Yeah. 0 clutch moments, lads. I think that's safe to say. He hasn't won as a point or saved as a point in anything.
Not that I can remember.
I'm trying to think of a big tackle or something that I seem to remember.
Actually, Gruev, when we talk about clutch, that's just reminded me off the line against Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to forget there'll be loads of Ampadu, like little.
I know, man.
Little blocks
let's if it hasn't come to us mind straight away, then we'll just move on. Well, Ampadu's got 18 then after that. Next up, which will be a difficult one actually, is Largie Ramazani. So 25 games, only started 7. He actually has the lowest amount of minutes out of the ones we're looking at. He's only got 731 minutes. Even Ampadu and Gruev have got, like Ampadu's got 1,500, Gruev's got 1,100. So he's a long way off the rest of the regular starters, if you like. 4 goals, 2 assists in that time, so 6 G&A. It's going to be a difficult one. Impact has, when he's played, does he impact games? Has he elevated the team's performance or outcomes in key situations? I think he has in moments.
That's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
He has, or he, in a way, he hasn't. Do you know what I mean? He either really does, or he's very quiet.
Yeah.
He's always all right. It's either he either touches the ball or he looks really good.
Yeah. I remember that game against Watford where he cooked him in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
He scores that goal that the keeper drops in. He's all over them. And in that moment, it's like, wow, yeah, he has really impacted it.
You know what? I think, to be fair to him, although I don't think he's been as consistent as people have made out,
No.
I do think we can give, personally, I think, decent score for this. I think he does make impact.
Yeah. What do you reckon?
Just wavered a bit. That's my only thing. If we're doing it over the season, I'd have been really on board.
We can talk about consistency's up next. So if we give him a score for his impact in moments, and then bam, we can talk about his consistency.
Yeah.
What do we do? So Gruev was a 3, Ampadu a 5. Is he enough to slot in as a 4, or does he go similar to Gruev? I would say it's similar to Gruev. Personally,
I'd go 3 myself. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah. I'm all right with 3. Yeah.
I think it's just over the season. I can't let it go.
No, I get it. We'll talk about Jack. Talk about consistency up next, mate.
Yeah, well, he's also, but everybody wants him to get more minutes and stuff, don't they? So I thought, that's where the argument comes from. Because his consistency at one point before the injury was excellent, wasn't he? And I'd have been like, he looked like the proper all-round player that we needed, really. Like, it was meant to get him in. But I don't think he's been consistent. I don't think he comes off at bench and, Nonto gets a lot of stick for coming off at bench and not always impacting games. And I think Lonto's had a lot more impact off at bench than Ramazani has.
Yeah.
Even over the season, though, Nonto had a relative. I know people quite hard on him, but his numbers weren't that bad initially. And I know everybody was saying he's not, and so he's had that patch that Ramazani's had, and then offered more throughout the season as Nonto. I know we're not talking about Nonto, but
it's a.
So it'd be low for me, the consistency. I would.
They're in the same boat. I know he's not played nowhere near as many minutes, but then again, actually, Nonto's played 1,000 more minutes than him and only has 4 more G&A. So it's like, I don't know. But if we're talking purely on performance, I think you're right, though, mate. I do. I do think you're right.
It's hard one. Wingers are they're either in or out of games as well, aren't they, wingers? Games can really be for wingers. Games really cannot be for wingers. It's quite difficult sometimes, especially when they get doubled up on, to be consistent. But I don't know. Would he be happy with all of his impact? Do you think he's happy with all the? I don't think he is. I think he thinks himself he could be more consistent potentially.
Yeah, consistency is key. I think consistency is probably why, regardless of what people think, is probably why he's not played as much as he would have liked. I know he was good when Solomon got injured and then he struggled to get back in, but that's because Solomon's been consistent, and been consistently of a sufficient level, I think. You can think maybe a couple of games where Solomon, maybe he's not right, and then he'll come up with an assist or a goal in the next one. I do think that's probably why he hasn't gone in. Is he consistently putting it in training? Who knows? Do you know what I mean? I guess we're guessing at that, but yeah, I don't. Would you say he's been as consistent as a Gruev or Ampadu when they've played? I would argue not.
I'd argue not, but I'd argue it's not relevant because it's consistency. But I'd argue it's more difficult potentially in certain games for him to do that because there's more to his role. But that doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's consistency. And what did we give them to? What did
3.
we give Gruev?
Do we go 2? Or do we even go lower?
I won't go lower, personally.
I won't go lower than 2, no.
2. Okay.
2.
Expectations, then. It's difficult because it depends if you were aware of the player or not. Yeah. But then again, he was playing in La Liga. He'd spent time. He was on Man United's books, went to Charlton, went to La Liga, came to the Prem. And I guess what we could argue as well is expectations of when he has lit it up. It's like, oh my God, this guy's mustard. He should be able to just... He's the new Somerville, if you like. And has he really followed that trend? You would argue, no. It's hard to rate for me because I wasn't aware of the lad. Do you know what I mean?
So is this based on if they've met that, right?
Yeah, so did they meet, exceed, or fall short of their pre-season expectations based on their role, past performances, or hype around them?
So I didn't know that much about Ramazani, other than the fact that I think he scored against, was it Madrid or Barcelona? I know he scored in that game.
I tell you what, I do remember Locky, because I remember where I was. I was with my kids, and I remember I popped out for a bit. And I remember when it became a thing, and it was out there. Joe Donahue had spoken about him, but then when it actually was like, we're about to sign this lad, Twitter went into fucking, oh my God, as if we're signing this kid. So you could argue the hype was up there, to be fair.
I think it was one of our most hyped signings. Because of that, because he played in a good league in La Liga. Yeah. Even though he was in a poor team.
I would argue the hype was bigger around him than it was Solomon.
Yeah, I think so. Because he played a lot last year as well, didn't he, in the Liga, and Solomon's been injured. So I agree. And then obviously, having watched him earlier on when he came on earlier on in the season, or even just watching stuff before he joined, and when I found out he might have been signing, I got excited as well. How much was it? 7 million or something like that. It's a lot of money at this level. He, like you said, came through the youth ranks, Man United. Impressed, was good in a poor team last year in La Liga, which is a good league, very good league. So I think. And has he met that in moments? Yeah. To be fair, before he got injured, I think he was getting there. I think that's when we were seeing this guy's too good. But then the injury happened, and that nullified it a little bit. Then Solomon came into form, and it's been inconsistent since then, hasn't it? I think.
The other two got voted 2. Is he lower or higher, Jack?
To be honest, I think it's a little bit with him, with how much he's also played. So I'm now, going against what I just said a minute ago, really, with, the minutes and how he's not potentially really deserved them. And that's why he's not got them. Because, you're asked to, I don't know what I expected of him in truth. I think he sort of has met my expectation of him. I'm very rarely, I'm not negative about new signings, but I always think, let's have a proper look at him. I try and give him some time at the club. That's why I'm not mad at Schmidt or whatever for not playing yet. I mean, it might be excellent. Do you know what I mean? It just takes time, doesn't it? So my expectations, I must say I was excited of him, but I think it's also because I didn't know a great deal about him. So it's like, it is exciting when a lad like that comes over, and it's like, oh, we're in here, but tricky.
Did we expect him to be the Somerville replacement?
I would argue yes.
A lot did, didn't they?
Yeah.
I'm not sure I did, you see, because I thought it'd be Nonto. And then when Solomon got here, I thought it'd be Dan James, Nonto, and Solomon.
I did think Nonto would have a mint season this season. You're right.
I thought he was some of those replacements. I know what you're saying, Locky, by the way, but
so you could argue then the expectations may have been lower because of the strength in depth we had in the wing position. Maybe he wasn't expected to play every minute from most people that are not seen in week out in the Liga, which I literally watched about 2 games, all that, and so I had no idea what he was. But it's an hard one with this.
Yeah, did he meet them? Has he met your pre-season expectations?
I'd say no.
Yeah,
no,
probably not.
Like that.
Yeah.
Not drastically for me.
1 feels harsh, doesn't it? You just think it's too harsh, don't you? If we give the other 2, he's maybe we've scored them incorrectly. No,
I agree. If we've scored them 2, it can't be 2. I don't think.
No, I don't either. Let's go 1. Numbers, right. Largie Ramazani in 731 minutes has 6 G&A. That's 4 goals and 2 assists. I think that's a very good return for the amount of minutes he has played. He's got more goals than Mateo Joseph. He's got the same G&A as Mateo Joseph.
I want to be nice to him on this one.
Yeah, I think it should be high based on the minutes that he's played.
Yeah, it's not the most, like I say, it's not the most G&A,
no,
but
him.
He's not played a lot of 90s. It's quite. So I don't know. I think I want to be kind to him on this one because we give him a 1 for the last one.
Yeah. Do we go 4 or 3? I guess 4. No, 4s and 5s. You need to be looking at least double
4
digits.
Strong in it, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, just based on his minutes, 7 starts, 4 goals and 2 assists. Because he very rarely impacts off the bench, so probably a lot of them came in games he started. So
Three.
three numbers, yeah. I think that's fair. Durability. The other two got 2. He hasn't. He's had an injury, hasn't he?
He did just one though, and he missed what was it? 4 or 5 games of it. 4 games, I believe. Yeah, 4 games, and he was on the bench for the 5th, but never didn't get fit. Probably about 8 games he missed all in all till he was fit again.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I think he's been there, hasn't he? So I think his durability is all right.
The only thing I would say is that, like, he was on fire, wasn't he, when he got injured, and then he didn't come back. So it's like there must be something that we've not quite seen, you know, like whether it has taken him some time to adjust after injury and stuff. So, but he has been available for a lot of the season. So yeah.
2, I think he should get the same as the other lads. What do you reckon?
I think he's been more durable than them. I think he's missed less.
You reckon?
He's been more available, hasn't he? If we're saying he's only missed 5 games, has he?
Overall, with his injury,
yeah.
3.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair. All right. Overall team contribution then. It has to be low for me, I think, personally, because he's not starting. He's not impact.
Tough critic with Ramazani.
No, but I don't think the overall team contribution though by Largie Ramazani, has it been? Have we missed him? Have we?
No, we've not been pining for him.
No, exactly.
Some people have, to be fair, but I've just talked to myself. I haven't.
Yeah,
I've not been. I've trusted Farker in his picking of him. Yeah. And I also didn't think he's not playing him because of whatever. It's like he played him and he did really well, and he's obvious. That's what I mean about when he's got back. Must be something not quite right because Farker would be using him more. So
yeah.
I remember before he got injured. I remember being on your show, Joe, and this is when Solomon weren't great. Just before he got great, I remember saying we really missed Ramazani. I remember saying it.
Yeah.
That died down as Solomon got better, which kind of affects it. But there was a period for me where I think we did really miss him just after he got injured because he was really good before he got injured.
Oh yeah, he was.
You're excellent.
But then obviously the second half, the last third of the season, our wingers have been for the most part outstanding.
Yeah.
So we've not really missed him like you'd expect.
Is he middle of the road? 3? Yeah.
Yeah, 2 or 3 for me. Yeah.
I think 2, but I don't want to.
It's 2v1 then. Go on.
2. Growth and development. Have they showed improvement? I know it's hard for him, but if we look at him over the course of the season, has he shown improvement in skills, his decision making, maturity over the course of the season?
I don't know. This guy was playing in the league last year.
Yeah, that's
a much better league than the championship.
Yeah. That's a huge
and again,
point.
That's the manager. I picked him or because of injuries. Yeah. It's not saying it's his fault, but I don't think he has.
No.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay, we'll give it a 0 there, like Gruev. What about clutch moments? Can we think of any moments with Ramazani? Obviously, there's a Watford one, but if we're talking about a moment that's won as a game, has he done it off the bench like Nonto did the other day?
Chef Wednesday came on and got a goal and assist in 7 minutes.
Okay. And what was the score in that at the time? Do you remember?
1-0.
Okay, so
I believe.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it was 1-0 when he came on.
Yeah. Okay.
I just remember him as a whole when he came on, and you just thought this bloke's a beast. So that's not. I know that's not a clutch performance. But
I think if we look at them moments, because we were already in front of that, we can give him a 1 for that. I think. Do you know what I mean? For that Chef Wednesday one, because the other 2 lads have got 0.
But even when he played, I think he was quite clutch in the games. He was quite clinical, when he was starting.
Yeah. Okay, so give me one, Locky. I'll let you.
I'd say I don't think there's loads of them, but I'd give him a 3. I think
3
when he was fit. Yeah.
Oh. You said Locky could go, and then it's like 3.
No, I think that's
whoa. You think Locky just said something wild then, though?
Scored equaliser versus Norwich. Yeah, okay. We got that and a Chef Wednesday goal as well. Right, okay, we'll go 3.
2-1 win against Watford as well. It's
okay. Just to let you know, Ampadu was on 18, Ramazani 17. So I'm just saying. Right, let's move it on then. Next up, Junior Firpo. Okay.
Everything.
This should be
Let's do it quick. 5.
Yeah, this should be a good one. Right, okay. Impact over the course of the season. He's got the most open play assists, and he in 2025 across England's divisions, I swear. He's contributed massively, man. He's got to be 5. It's 5, isn't it?
The game with the red card, a few injuries in that little period, but he's made up for it in all.
His impact goals, everything, yeah. Massive. Consistency. Do we knock him down 1 for that red card and miss him to a 4? But outside of that, I can't.
There were a 4 or 5 game period where he weren't on it.
Yeah.
But I remember when Voba came in, didn't they? We were all saying
playing
well. But after that, he's been outstanding. I think
4
or 5. Yeah. For me.
Expectations, lads. So I did look. I know Firpo's mint, but I think he's gone up another level. I think he's exceeded his expectation this season. Or am I being too kind? Because I do really.
It's already high, wasn't it? How do you rate this when it's already really high? What did we give Ampadu, for example?
2. Gruev and Ampadu 2. Ramazani 1. We go 3 for Junior.
So that'd say he's doing just what we'd expect.
I guess so.
Right, 3 in the middle. But I think it's a little slightly higher because it's out of 5, isn't it? So I'm all right with that. I don't know, Jack. What do you think?
I'd want to lean on 4 a bit. I want Firpo to be right up there in the mix, but
yeah.
I do think he does it every time. I can't help but every time I just see him go forward, I just think,
Did you expect, right, before the season started, did you expect him to be posting up 12 assists? Did you expect him to be coming in, rising like a salmon, scoring goals?
No, you can't. No,
didn't. So he's
not surprised me. It's not surprised me, but it's still to put them numbers down, like you say when you say it like that.
Yeah, 12G in there. Sorry,
right. I'll be right with
4.
Mad.
Cool. Yeah. Numbers then for a fullback: 3 goals, 9 assists. Man, he's got the same amount of assists as Dan James. Yeah, I think
you know what to do.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any argument, is there?
It has to be 5, doesn't it?
Yeah, 5.
Some of the best numbers in Europe. So
yeah, exactly. Durability. I suppose we could throw the red card in there as well. Has he had any injuries, Locky?
So I'm looking here. He was not in the squad for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He missed 8 games. Didn't know that.
Wow. Byram played a lot though, didn't he? Remember?
Yeah. Then he missed. He had 3 more with a suspension.
Because I knew that in the back of my head. So we were talking to you the other day, wasn't I, Joe? And I said to you, Firpo would definitely be my player at season, but I knew he'd missed quite a portion of the season. So it is.
I wasn't happy with his red card and that. I remember, So and it did miss a bit because I remember everyone complaining about Byram, the underlap and stuff when without Solomon there. So durability, is it a 3 then because of the amount he's missed?
I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah. Team contribution then. So has he contributed to the team's successes, the chemistry? Yeah, he has. And like we were saying, everyone when Byram plays and he sometimes tends to invert, and we're all like we miss him going on the outside. So
the only thing I would say about him is he does kick off a little bit, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And I don't think it has an effect when we're winning. But it's like you could potentially say it, but it just depends how the lads are, really.
Yeah, but that's true though, mate. Look at his reaction after Melier. Should he really be doing that when the staff are telling him get back out there? When
No, I don't like stuff like that, me though. No. I'm happy for him to kick out at each other when they get into changing room, but not outside.
Ampadu got 4, so he can't be getting.
He still gives some silly yellow cards as well.
Yeah.
Some silly fouls. So yeah, I think around there is fair.
So Gruev 3, Ampadu 4, Ramazani 2. We going 3 or 4?
I'd say 4 personally.
Same as Amps. Yeah,
just based on what he does in the final third. Yeah.
Okay. Growth and development. Then, has he showed improvement in skills, maturity over the course of the season? Has he evolved compared to last season? Or is he just more of the same?
At the start of last season, he weren't great, were he? Didn't you know what I mean? I can't remember when he got into the team, but I'm pretty sure he was quite poor at the start of the season, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, 'cause it looked like he wasn't really going to get used much, didn't it? That's how crazy it is. Now he's like indispensable, really.
Yeah, I think he has developed. I think he plays with more responsibility, and he gets into the box and wins headers. So I think he has.
Yeah.
He's an English, he's an English, like English, not an English player. What am I trying to say? But he plays in England now. Do you know what I mean? He's an England left back. Like, do you know what I mean? He's not an England left back. I'm aware that's not his nationality. But yeah, he's adapted to the league now, aren't he? Massively.
Yeah, but he was already high. It was already high on that. He's already a very good player. So I don't know. I'd give it a 3 down the middle. I think he's improved a bit, but not 5, 6, not 4 or 5.
Cool. Clutch moments. I think we'd have to. I mean, the header.
Header's unreal.
Huge.
Yeah, it's massive.
One moment like that's massive, isn't it?
Massive.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Amount of assists he got. Yeah.
4.
Up there. I think.
Yeah. Sound massive 32. There you go. He's fucking flying his Firpo.
He's in with a chance, my man Firpo.
Next up, then, is Sam Byram. 29 games, 14 starts. So same stats as Gruev. A goal and an assist to his name. So if we go with impact, is did he influence games? Did he elevate the team's performance or outcomes in key situations? I love Byram, but I think this is low. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he had a massive impact. Yeah, he's a squad player.
But he
did the job. Yeah.
Didn't make us better than the alternative, which is Firpo.
Exactly. So, but because of that, then, I guess because he doesn't make us better than the alternative, does he get a 2?
I don't want to be too harsh on Byram, to be honest. I don't want you to think I'm being soft on them all, but I think Byram really does have something. I mean, it'd be interesting when we get to durability, because I want to know what everybody's saying on that and stuff with Byram, but we'll get to that when we get to it. But yeah, I agree. I agree with what everybody's just said, but I just want to make the claim. I don't want to be too. I think we're overly critical of him, but he isn't as good at left back as Firpo, obviously.
No,
but Firpo's just nearly won, best player in world award, hasn't it?
It's hard because he's the left back behind the best left back in the league, so he's not going to have a better impact.
Exactly.
He's not negative. He's not going to a bad thing. He's not been as good as the guy there. So I reckon maybe 2 or 3. I think it's fair.
Yeah,
he's done his job. Do you know what I mean? He was never poor. He always did his job.
think we've given Ramazani 3, and I don't think he's impacted games as much as what he has. So I would go 2. You happy with that, lads?
Yeah.
Right. Consistency. Now, I actually think this is where, for me, he should get a decent score, because I don't think Byram puts a foot wrong when he does play. Regardless of what people will tell you, and it might drop off in terms of he might not be as good quality-wise as Firpo. He might not make the same runs. But if you want someone who's going to be consistent, he is that for me.
Yeah.
He's so consistent. Did he maintain a high level of play in most of the games when he played? Or was he inconsistent? I don't think you can say he was inconsistent. When he's played, boom, he's at a sufficient level.
He gets brought on in games where it's close and we bring him on defensively. He wins headers. Does his thing in the box, clears it. So this has got to be high. He's consistent.
Agreed.
Very consistent for me.
So I think, again, folks, this isn't about his level, but what I guess it's, does he do? I mean, not his skill level. So it might seem, people say, you're giving him what? But I think it's fair to say 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy with 4, definitely,
Yeah. Okay, what about his expectations? Has he exceeded expectations? I think the signing overall for me has exceeded expectations. We're another year on. He's still not had any fucking injuries of any note. I think I'd say he's middle of the road for me. I think he's good.
29 appearances this year as well.
Yeah. 3?
So, yeah.
Or is that high?
I mean,
no, I think that's
I don't know if he's 3. Yeah. He's not.
3. Numbers, lads. What about numbers? 1 goal, 1 assist. Do we think he's not great? Do we throw his availability in there or not? Because the fact that he's available, and obviously, maybe I'm probably glazing him a bit too much, aren't I? I do like Byram.
And this will be the same for the centre backs and the midfielders, right? He could probably have got more goals and assists.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think when Firpo and Bogle are putting performances in like that as well, and he is in the same positions,
Yeah,
And
true.
He's not finding them assists and stuff. And I know again, Firpo's through the roof with it, but there's a middle ground somewhere in there that he's not finding.
No, okay, we'll go with a 0 there. What about durability, Jack? You wanted to take this one, mate. Talk to me about durability.
Because I think it's a conspiracy against Paul Ladd. I know he's had injuries prior, like everywhere he's been and stuff, and it's massively blighted his career, but I think he's been insanely available. And I've said this forever, but every time he comes back from a little niggle or whatever, he's been like 100% flying around. Like, it's not like this idea that he's made of biscuits I'm not on board with it at all. I think he's been really available. I think he is durable. I'm also not saying he's the most durable player in the side, but it's slapped on him that, and I just think it's harsh.
Yeah. It's one of them. It's like the Ampadu slowing it down. It's always there. He said in an interview recent, I don't know if it was around Christmas, I think, they mentioned this, and he needs more recovery than the other players. He has to go into the cryo chamber a lot and do all that kind of stuff. But on the pitch, that means he still plays. He's more available. I think he would struggle if he was, playing every week, as in 3-game weeks, kind of like Rothwell does. But I mean, 29 appearances this season. He's come on in almost every game this season.
Yeah, that's a great point.
So 100%.
He's extremely available.
Yeah.
He's always there. So he's always there if you need him.
Well, Ramazani and Firpo got 3. He's got to get more than that then, surely, because he hasn't had any injuries.
Not that I know of. I think he's not been in the squad for 2 games.
I think a 4 then for Byram. Like you say, 29 times for a lad who historically is injured a lot. I think that's fair enough. What about team contribution? I think he should score higher for me. And the reason I say that is because he didn't break Strachan's record for the most consecutive wins when he's came onto a pitch or something like that. I think that's got to hold some weight or something like that. But I don't know. What do you reckon? Does Byram make those around him better? Is he a leader? Does he get it? All that sort of stuff. What are we saying?
It's hard, this contribution, because again, I'll talk about the wingers. Their contributions are probably more difficult because they're expected to go win a game.
Yeah.
And Byram plays, he's got to do his job, kind of thing, because he's waiting for Firpo to come back. And when he comes on, he's just got to win a few headers. So, but just looking at it flatly, he contributes to what we need him. The manager needs him to do.
Could argue one of the
exceed it.
No. Definitely. One of the things is, did their presence make their teammates better? You could argue we lost something down that left-hand side when Byram plays. So do we go low end or what?
Well, you could argue that I think he's one of the, he's an old head in there. And I think he's one of them ones that, like Ampadu, I don't know, this is guesswork. But I bet he trains proper and stuff, Byram. I bet he's a serious lad. I mean, I don't think there'll be no jokes. There'll be time for jokes, but it'll be a.
Where are we going? Give us a score, Jack.
What did we give?
So Gruev got 3, Ampadu 4, Ramazani 2, Firpo 4.
I think it'd be harsh not to give him what Gruev's got, really.
Yeah. Okay. Growth and development. So has he showed any improvement in decision-making maturity? He's already as old as you like. I think this is a 0, right?
Yeah, it's just...
Other than being durable. That's an improvement in it, but yeah.
Clutch, 0.
Yeah, it's not.
No,
Cool. Puts him on 16. Okay, so next up is Manor Solomon. Should be a good one. Okay, so impact then. Manor Solomon again, folks, just for context, 31 games, 22 starts, 7 goals, 7 assists, so 14 G&A. I think for a period, and maybe this will tie into the consistency, but I do think for a period after he was injured, he was our best player. For me, that has changed now. Huh?
Is this impact? Impact,
yeah. And I think for a player that has become, even for a short while, our best player has to score highly for me. I don't think he's as big as an Ampadu on a 5 or Firpo on a 5, but I do think I'd give him more than what, say, Ramazani and Gruev have at 3. I think his impact has been huge.
I think, I do. He started decent the first 2 games. He got injured. Yeah. I do think he was poor, to be fair, after that for a little bit. for his standards. I don't think he was as good as he could have been. But then he had that period, from December through to like the end of February, it was just banging in goals and assists. Recently, again, dropped a little bit, but everyone's did. So I think 3 or 4 for me, personally. I don't know what you guys think.
I think 4. Thomas says Solomon 3 on impact. He was quite a lot worse than Ramazani at first off the bench, but then he was our best player. I think 3 is so harsh on Solomon, mate. I think he's been
a huge part of the side as well. You can't even give him the amount of minutes that he's played and the amount of games that he's featured in, and then say that he's not had an impact on the side. It's just doesn't make sense for top at league. Do you know what I mean? It's if he's not impacting the side, I don't really know who is.
Yeah, no. So. Three's harsh, yeah. I did say 3 or 4, but 3's harsh, definitely for you.
Number 4. Go on then, Locky. We'll talk consistency because, like I've said, he was best player for a period. Then you rightly mentioned, he has dropped off. You could argue in the last few weeks. I don't think it's as mad as what the Twitter sphere would have you believe, but he hasn't been as good recent weeks.
He's not as sharp as he did before. That's because he's not got a goal and assist in about 5, which happens. But I do think after his injury, he was poor for a little bit, quite a bit actually. Not poor, but for his own standards, I don't think the best. This guy who can play in the Premier League when he's fit, I don't think he's set that standard. But second half of the season, I think he's been outstanding. Consistent. Has he been consistent? I think he's been consistent in terms of he's always looked decent on the ball. His passing and moving's always been good, but I don't think those levels of consistently outstanding have been there all season. I don't know if you guys agree.
No,
sorry, Joe.
Go on. No, he's consistent as in he does the right things, but when we're talking about his level, he hasn't been consistently at that level as being too good for the division, has it? Do you know what I mean? When on his day, he looks mustard.
And again, I know I just said this in the same way I'm sort of flipping it in the last category, but he's played a lot of games. We have a lot of the ball. We're top at league. He could be playing at that top level. It's not like he's not getting a lot of ball, and it's like, like Locky was saying, the wingers, it can be difficult for them to really. We dominate a lot, so they do have a lot of opportunities to affect the game, and he's not really been. But it's kind of harsh on him as well, on the basis that, like you just said, Locky, he's awesome on ball and stuff, and consistently, he's never going to sort of. I know he made an error, Burnley or what have you, but he's always going to be good on the ball, isn't he? It's whether his performances are consistent as opposed to the simple stuff that he does. It's consistent.
Yeah, and then just thinking, obviously we'll get on to Dan James, but how consistent he's been all season. I think it's fair to say he's not been that, has he? Even like Tanaka or players like that, Bogle, for example, Rodon, they're probably 4s and 5s for me. So I reckon he's just below them. I'd say a 3 consistency.
3 on consistency. I think I agree. Sorry, lads, I was just getting my fan. It's fucking warm and sweaty in here. Expectations then. Now, for me, this was a guy who we were told was always injured. He's been injured for 2 years. He's not any good. He's same as this player, that player. We don't need him. I think, for me, now some of us were pretty big on him, but I would say the majority weren't, I don't think. So I think in terms of what we expected and what we actually got, like a lot of people would agree, actually he's so important for us for a period. So I think he's exceeded that, not to the levels of 5, but he's exceeded what we thought we could get because of the amount of games he's played, first and foremost.
Yeah. Every time I mentioned how good he could be, it was always could because of his injuries.
Yeah.
Every time I mentioned it, I had to say that. And he's had 1 injury all season. And that was a few, it was 2, wasn't it? 2 in 1. I think he had a bit of a back problem at the same time. Hamstring them back, I think it was. Yeah. But he missed 4 games with that. That's expectations from that perspective are he's massively outfingered them on a performance level. I'd say, assuming he stayed fit, I thought he'd be as good as he was for that 2 or 3 months not too long ago. He hasn't all season. But I think if you balance it out, I still think.
Do you know what, as well? Thomas makes a great point here. We can't get away from the fact that when he was fit, he was playing Champions League and he was playing for Spurs. So has he, do you know what I mean? maybe it does need to come down because of that, if that makes sense.
I'm glad that's been said, because if I'm honest, I remember talking to you, John, first day of the season more or less, and I was like, I'm so happy about when we got Solomon in. I really do have high expectations of him, and I understand the injuries. I really understand that point. To be fair, he's been available, and this, the idea again that he's made of biscuits has not necessarily been true with us, but I really did. Like Locky said, when he went on that run, I thought, right, we're in now. This is what I expected, and that makes it a harsh rating because my expectations was very high of him. And if I'm honest, I know 7 goals, 7 assists is good, but again, we are the top team in the league. We create the most chances, score the most goals, and he's not. I have to say it. If Somerville's in this side, I know it maybe skews us more, and he steals more goals off other people and what have you, but. He don't steal goals, but he gets more of the chances and stuff. But Solomon's not the greedy guy, and then that's not a knock to Somerville, but he's very much more team player. And I think he looks a little bit different when he's running on ball and stuff. I think he's more of a killer than he looks. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I'm like, I really want him to rip sides up, and I think he does do it, but just not how I sort of envisaged it'd be. So.
I wanted him to get more goals. Even that one where he lays on for Pirro, where he misses that goal against Portsmouth, I think he could have had a go. And if it's Somerville, he does. I say all the time, like he scored that goal against us in Cup, and he gets in them positions, and he never lets it fly. And I do.
No, I don't.
No, it never. So I don't know if that's a confidence thing.
I was looking at all his goals before we signed him, just a compilation of his goals, and a lot of them are cutting in it and curling one round keeper.
You can tell he does that thing, what they all do, like what Willian does, where they flick it and then it's like, oh, it's coming, and then he don't do it, does he? So
passes it, doesn't he? Passes it to the side.
Yeah.
I still think 2 sounds a little harsh.
Oh yeah, I agree,
because he has been good. I'd say 3 personally.
I agree with 3. Yeah.
Okay. What about his numbers then, Jack? You were thinking they're pretty low for the position he plays comparative to others.
What's he like comparison to James then?
James has 10 goals and 9 assists. Solomon 7 and 7.
And that is quite a big difference, really, I'd say.
Yeah.
So, I mean, his overall contribution to the side's been excellent, but I would have liked a few more. I think if there were three more either side on there, it'd have been a lot higher for me.
Yeah, we've got Ramazani on a 3. I think it's fair to say same, would you argue? Like, just because he's played, obviously, a lot more minutes, would you put him as the same?
I'd have to think... Decent. Sorry, Locky, go on.
I'll say 14's decent, but looking at Pirro, 15 goals, 6 assists.
Yeah.
Dan James, 10 goals, 9 assists. They're 4s and 5s, aren't
they? Yeah, fair.
And I'd have to say that if Ramazani's in there...
He probably might have more.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, that's a good point. 3, or do we go down then because of that? Or
he's been one of our best players, so it's a bit harsh to go lower than that.
Pretty decent, isn't it? That's
it's not been
as well.
Yeah, just wanted more out of it, but in terms of his actual contribution, it's pretty mint, isn't it? So
durability, lads. He's had 2 injuries, right? Like you mentioned, the calf, and then back to calf or whatever it was, or hamstring to calf.
Hamstring to
back. Does he get a higher score because of how much, or is that included in with expectations? But I assume we all expected him to be out a lot more than he has done.
I think I'll just go quickly. I just think generally he's been fit, hasn't he? I don't think he's been sharp, but he's that durability. I think sharpness took a while, didn't it? That took a few months to get sharpness. So maybe that is durability, I guess, isn't it? It's how sharp you are. That's part of it. Yeah. But in terms of, he's looked durable, hasn't he? He's played. He's got better as the season's gone on. It's not like he's gone the other way. I know recently, but everyone's been a bit off, haven't they? But more than what we expected, definitely as well.
3.
I think it's a bit harsh to not the 3 necessarily, but I think I just want to follow on from what Locky said. Then I don't want to judge him on his previous. To me, that doesn't matter, does it? Do you know what I'm saying?
No,
it doesn't matter if he couldn't get a minute elsewhere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like Bogle, for instance. I don't think started particularly well the season, and it looked to me like he was off the boil, like he was unfit. So you could argue, but because Bogle doesn't come with a history of not playing games, nobody says, "Oh, it's his fitness levels or his durability or whatever." So I think 3 is fair because I think it's just taking into the account that he's been largely available, hasn't he, really?
Yeah. What about team contribution then, Jack? You spoke maybe about his unselfish play at times.
Yeah.
For others.
And he's getting on like house on fire with James, isn't he, for instance, which I do think matters. And like you were saying, Luke, sorry, Joe. Like you were saying, you know, on his Instagram and stuff, you know, joking about and stuff. He's come straight into the side. It felt like it actually feels like watching him. And again, you don't know, but it feels like he's part of he's straight into the side. He's part of the side. It's not like he's slipped straight in, hasn't he? So it'd have to be. Yeah.
I think what do we rate it as, lads? Is it a 4? Is it as high as a Firpo and an Ampadu? Or is it a 3 where we've got Byram and Gruev?
I'd have to say 4, I think, in there.
It's kind of in between them two, isn't it?
we can put 3.5 if you want.
Can you work that out though, Joe? Is you going to start struggling if this?
It'll do it for me, mate. Don't worry about that.
You know what? We'll make an exception. I think we need a 0.5 for this one. Yeah.
Okay, no worries. We will do that. What about growth and development then? Have they grown over the course of the season? Have they compared? I think it's hard to say he has because he's played fucking Champions League and that, man, hasn't he? Yeah. I think it's a 0.
He's played more, which is good for him.
Yeah.
He's playing at a level that he's not played at
way
since
below.
a teenager, probably.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
probably not.
Yeah, let's go 0 with the rest. What about clutch? Is he coming in any clutch moments for you folks?
I can't think of moments, but my memory is terrible with stuff like this. He probably has. He can't probably remind me a few. I'm out of any of these.
First game at season, it's not really a clutch performance, but I seem to remember he were excellent in that second half.
Yeah.
But no, I suppose not really pops to my mind, like not a big goal or a big moment, really.
No, neither. Me neither. Okay, we'll leave him there then. 19.5. 19.5, man off. Right, moving on. We have up next Dan James then. Dan James, 10 goals, 9 assists, 32 games played, 27 starts. Jack, you start us off, mate. Impact over the course of the season. He scored the most goals outside of Joel Pirot with 10. What do you reckon?
Yeah. Got to be high, this. I think Dan James has got to be right up there. I think he's gone, just overall on Dan James, I think he's gone, I told you this the other day, but slightly, I thought it was definitely the best player of the season, and then that has waned just on the basis of the sort of past 5 or 6 games. And that's not being too critical of him because I still think he's been decent in them games. But it'd have to be this will have to be a nice score for me, Dan James, really overall.
Yeah, I agree.
Impact, like he's probably the only player in our entire team, and you say it on your live streams, Joe. He's got pace though. Do you know what I mean? Even when he's not playing well, he's so quick and direct that he's impacting the game even when you don't think he is.
Yeah, he opens it up for Bogle a lot, doesn't he? When Bogle's carrying the ball and James just goes, the left back just has no idea what to do. Like,
I think
we'll put
5.
5, yeah. What about consistency? Because like Jack just said, Locky, he has waned a little bit over the last few weeks, so it probably stops him getting top marks. To be fair, but outside of that, He's been consistently good, hasn't he?
Yeah, just looking at his numbers here. He had an injury earlier on in the season. He missed 5 games from. But after that, he didn't. Yeah,
I didn't even know. I forgot about that.
Me neither, mate. But since then, he gets a goal and assist every 2 or 3. He hardly misses 2 or 3 games without a goal and assist all season. But it's not the top. I think 4's right.
I think it's got to be 4. It's a shame it's not a 5. That it's just literally just recently.
Yeah,
but the team have wavered. So it's not really even on him, it's the side, isn't it? But
what about expectations then, Jack? In terms of, has he exceeded? To be honest, he exceeded last season. I think he's gone again.
Yeah,
with Ramazani, Solomon, Nonto. I thought, like you said, Nonto was going to have a some of a less season. I was thinking James is, but you can argue. Well, you don't need to argue it. He's our best winger.
Yeah. I thought it'd be further down pecking order, yeah.
Yep.
Solomon coming in, Ramazani were so exciting.
Remember, he did not start the playoff final. Now he definitely play, wouldn't he? You'd be like, he's won at first on sheet. So,
some of the goals he's
kept him on.
Yeah.
Got some real goals, hasn't he? Some proper good goals as well.
He's
Variety.
he's far exceeded it, and
Mm.
we gave Firpo 4. I think that's fair. Do we give him another 4? Yeah, I think that's fair. In terms of numbers, then, lads, Firpo got 5. I don't think it's harsh, because what I will say for him as well, it's the type of goals he's scored that previously I didn't think he's got in his locker. I've said technically he's so poor previously until he's dropped down. And I do think Farke's improved him, but I think his numbers, like you say, I don't know many that have got probably more than him in the league in that position. I know. Does Sainz play off the wing? Or is he playing in the 10? I'm not sure, but he is smashing it, isn't he, Dan James?
On the left.
Yeah,
19 goal involvements.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a joke.
It's not Somerville numbers of last year, but we know why Somerville got them numbers. But this season is what we're talking about. And bar Perot, no one comes close, really.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, 5. Nearly. I mean, by the end of the season, if you were to say to a player, you'll have double digits in goals and assists, they take it. Yeah. So he's 1 assist away from that, which he'll get, So I think 5 for that.
And he's a wide. Sorry, Joe.
Go on, mate. Yeah.
He's a wide winger, isn't he?
He's not a wide forward like Salah. He's a touchline winger, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, bloody hell. Yeah. Durability then. I didn't even know. I'd have given him high, but you mentioned he's had an injury, Locky. Thanks for checking that.
Yeah, he missed 5 games. Yeah, hamstring injury. Very early on, after Sheffield Wednesday, he missed Hull, Burnley, Cardiff, Cov. I didn't even realise he didn't play in the first game against Burnley. Norwich, then Sunderland, and then he came back into it. But that's it then. I think he's been played in every game since. So.
Yeah. I think his durability's got to be high on just for
because he plays 90 as well.
He plays 90 all the time. Parker leaves him on, and I know people saying he's lost a yard or whatever, but he's still fast, like you said, Joe. But he's still got pace. He's still rapid. So
I think. Is it 4?
Yeah,
for me, yeah.
3.
I'm 4. For me,
4. Yeah. Cool. Team contribution then. I mean, I don't think you get the same Bogle without him. I think he's... Yeah, I think this again is pretty high for me, folks.
He's a good lad as well.
Yeah, great lad.
Contributed consistently all season, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not had periods where he's been... It's just all season.
Yeah.
It's just been relatively decent all season. Obviously, he had a period where he was unbelievable recently, but consistently all season, just there.
He might be on for winning this, might he?
He might be, mate. What we giving him then? To give you some context, Ampadu got 4, Firpo got 4, Solomon 3.5, Ramazani 2, Gruev and Byram 3. Is it a 4 for you, lads? Is his contribution being as pivotal as a Firpo and Ampadu? I think I would say his contribution's better than Solomon. And if we gave him 3.5, surely it's a 4?
Yeah.
Or not?
I'm all right with 4.
Yeah?
I agree, actually. I agree, yeah.
Yeah? Are you sure? What were you going to say, bro?
I just think with the wingers, it's hard because they are vital to the team, but we do have 2 very good ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas Firpo, he's only 1 Firpo in our team, whereas you could bring Ramazani and none to win. But if we're looking at the player, I mean, he's vital in it. We need Dan James to be on form and playing because when we do, we'll probably win the game. That's how dangerous he is. So I think 4's fair. Yeah.
4?
4.
Cool. Right. Growth and development, which there's only 2 players. So Ampadu's got a 2, and we spoke about leadership. We spoke about Firpo. I think James is... I can't believe the player that we're getting. I understand it because genuinely I thought technique. I just kick and run, road run. I mean, now I'm seeing him cutting in and bending it with his left and he's striking the ball better. He has developed under Farke, regardless what anyone says about this
as well.
But yeah, exactly, mate. Come on. He's got so much better. Yeah, headers, man.
His goal variety is he can do tap-ins, literally weird technique, strikes from 30 yards, which go in the top corner somehow. He chips the keeper, scored from the half. Was that this season? Scored from the half.
Last season, wasn't it?
That last season. But it's just his goals are so varied. I absolutely love it. He does the smashes from 1v1s where it's into top corner. But he has developed into a better player, and he's weird because he's doing it later on in his career, which I like. Obviously, it's the level he's at. but even compared to last year, I think he's just even better. You know what I mean? So, but I still think he could develop more. I still think that the passing side of his game, little 1-2s, where to pass sometimes could be a little better. But he's improved, but I don't think it's like he went from nothing to this. I think he's already pretty decent.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know actually. As a score, what do you guys think?
Is it a 3?
From last year, what would you say, Jack? How's he developed this season, do you think?
Yeah, I think he's immeasurably better, yeah. Well, not immeasurably better, to be fair, because he was excellent last year, but I think he's come on, like Joe said earlier, like he's come on again, hasn't he? He's gone again, definitely. He's interesting because he's not, how old is he? 28? About a long time, so he feels like he's older than that, but I think he's 28. 27, yeah.
27. 27.
Yeah. Totally random point from me there, but yeah, it's just it's like he's coming towards his prime, really. So if he does go again, which he will have to if we go up. So yeah, he's probably the most improved, even though he was also one of the best players from last year.
He's getting his babbies out. Go on. So, cheers, mate. Thank you. Go on. Sorry, boys. Go on. Carry on. What score are we giving him?
3.
3. Cool. Right. Clutch moments.
Oh, I mean, loads. I don't have one single one, but I just
I can't. I'm glad you said that.
Score, every time he seems to score, I just remember his celebrations are all insane. Everyone goes crazy. There's got to be loads there, aren't there? I can't remember the game, but I know there's loads. I think he's one of our most clutch players. I do. I think he's always there at moments.
We can't have that many goal contributions and stuff and not have some moments.
Yeah. No, exactly. We had Firpo as a 4. Is Dan James similar 4?
Yeah, and because we're at Sheffield where he got all assists.
Yes, it was, mate. Yeah, because I was at
their big moments.
Yeah, I wanted him off. Do you know what I mean? I was saying he should be, and then he goes and gets 2 assists. I remember. Yeah.
And they're big moments, massive game.
There you go. Scored against Middlesbrough to make it 2-1 as well. So yeah,
Josh, right, he scored and assisted so much that most of them will be very important.
Definitely. Okay, that's James. He's 33, so there's a point in between him and Firpo, which is cool. Right, Pascal Struijk, lads. Impact. I think Jack's going to end up proved right on Struijk because he said for a long time, and to be honest, I think we looked. I didn't agree last season, but I actually think we look better with Ampadu at centre back.
Impacts.
And I think he's been poor for a few weeks now, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I think he was really good for the first half of the season, though. I do.
Yeah.
He was very good. Yeah.
I think he has a significant impact on the side, to be fair to him.
Yeah.
I don't think his ceiling's as high as people make out with Struijk.
Yeah.
That's all. Struijk, whatever.
Yeah.
Is it?
He's a vital player for us, isn't he? I think we can. He's very important.
Yeah.
Very important, and he is the vice captain as well, so he's got part of that.
That's true. That's true. And he scored a few goals.
In the air.
He scored a few goals. He scored a few goals actually. Yeah, he has actually. So 3. Let's go 3. Consistency then. You mentioned him being one of the better players. Thomas has mentioned it in the chat. Last few weeks though has been really poor. I don't think we've seen a consistent Struijk this season.
I don't think he's been that good, me. I can't help it. I think his passing's a bit wayward. I think he looks a bit clunky. He got done, didn't he? Really quite bad. He got caught in 2 minds when that lad pushed it right. I can't remember the game.
It was Norwich. It was Sargent.
Yeah, and he just totally did him, didn't he? So
I don't think it's been as good as Rodan, but he played a lot of. How many consecutive 90s did he played? 21 consecutive 90s at the start of the season. That's fairly consistent, I think.
Okay.
And we won most of them games. But I agree. I think Rodan's been the better defender this year. I think he's been outstanding.
Yeah, definitely.
I still think before his injury was very consistent. Not like the same with Solomon, not like crazily amazing consistent every game. But yeah, and he hasn't been the player he was before his injury for me. I agree on that as well.
3? Or do we go 4? James got 4. Byram 4. Firpo 4. Has Struijk been that steady when he's played? I don't think he has, if I'm honest. I think he's fallen off a cliff a bit last few weeks. And I know that might seem harsh, but
in a few weeks, and then you've got, but then
okay,
weeks there, but you've got 30 odd games before that. Where look again, it's consistency, right? It's not has he been the best player. I think
has his performance. Right, okay, that's fair, Locky. Yeah,
so 3 or
go
4 for me.
Yeah, let's go 4. Let's go 4. Right. What about expectations then? Has he exceeded or fallen short of his normal expectations?
I would have to say, I don't. By the way, I don't like saying any of this, and I'm not even. It probably sounds like I'm being more critical than I actually am of him. I think he's perfect for us in Championship. I think people over-egg him a bit. That's all. But consistency-wise, expectation-wise, I think we'd have to say he's not exceeded anybody's expectation. Or it's certainly not mine.
No, I agree. Again, looking at Rodon, I think he has. We'll get onto Rodon, but I think he's been even better, especially recently. Struijk's was he as good as last year? That's, he was good last year when he played. He was injured, obviously. But he's played more, which I think is a good thing. Expected him maybe to miss more of injury. But yeah, has he been that? He's a tough one, Struijk. He is a tough one. He's a tough one to judge, especially when he's got Rodon next to him as well. But has he been that ridiculous level that maybe some of us thought he could get to? Probably not. I think that's fair to say.
It's a great partnership that though as well, and like you're saying, Locky, Rodon can be better than Struijk this season, and that's not a bad thing to say about Struijk. Do you know what I mean? Rodon's just been excellent, hasn't he? So
what did you expect, Joe, at the start of the season? Did you expect him to be the best player?
I expected him to be better than he has been.
Right.
I expected the performances you mentioned at the start of the season for all of the season. So for that, I would say it's a 3.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
You reckon?
Yeah.
So I'm happy with that personally, yeah.
Same. Right, numbers then. So if we actually have a look at his numbers, I know obviously, let's have a look. Pascal has 5 goals, 3 of them non-penalty goals as well. So 2 from the spot, 3 non-penalty. They were clutch goals as well, right? And there was the one... Yeah, was Sunderland or Sheffield United? Was that one? We'll get to clutch. We'll get to clutch.
That was Sunderland, wasn't it? Was it Sunderland?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Let's talk about numbers there. Now, what are we scoring him for a centre back?
Got 5 goals for a centre back for me. He's mint.
It's exceptional, isn't it?
Yeah, I think 5.
I've said it before, like jokes about it, but if Rothwell's not crossing it and Struijk's not heading it, it's not off in.
Yeah.
It's literally is our only option. If he's not the threat, then we don't have one.
So we go 5.
I think it'd be harsh not to. I mean, he's
got the same goals as Nonto. He's got the same goals as Nonto. Yeah. So you have to give him 5 for that, I think.
Yeah.
And even if 2 are penalties, he takes penalties. So
100%. Yeah.
Whether or not he should's another story, but
yeah.
Durability. Mentioned injuries. Has he had an injury?
Missed 4 games.
Yeah, when Ampadu was at centre back. Yeah. So
he missed 4 games of injury, but then he obviously didn't come into the team until recently because of Ampadu's form. But he's been there more season compared to what he has as well. I think he's been there. I think he played 21 90 minutes in the first 21 games. Missed 4 games. Also, I think that's very durable to me.
Yeah, for a centre back as well, I think so. Yeah, let's go 4. Let's go 4. 4 happy. Team contribution then, lads. So does he make those better around him? You mentioned the partnership, Jack, that has to come into it between him and Rodon. Does he contribute to the team's success, the tactics, etc.? I think he does, obviously bringing it up from the left. although I do think Rodon's been tasked with doing that a lot more this season than what Struijk did last season. I don't know if you agree, but yeah, I think his team contributions are up there.
Yeah, he has. I know that's sort of on. I'm going to nearly sort of drift over into impact again, but he's definitely he's a leader as well, and he's a big lad, and he, which I do think matters. I think that when you've got a big, strong centre back like he is, and like say with the partnership we rode on, I do think it bleeds out into the side that, and he does add some stability, and there's no nonsense to him as well. He's if it gets a bit rough, I feel like Struijk's got it. Do you know what I mean? It's like you don't get dominated by centre forwards, because I love Rodon, but I would argue, Rodon can get bullied a little bit by big nines, whereas that just didn't happen with Struijk. He's like arms out, and and I think my point is with that. I think that matters. I think it adds to the team contribution. I think people feel a lot safer when he's on pitch. Yeah.
He's been the captain as well 20 odd times this season.
So do we go 3 or 4? 3.5, 4.5. Where do we go?
I'd be closer to 4 than I was 3.
Yeah.
Personally, yeah.
Let's go.
What do you reckon?
Go 4.
The 4s in the team, right? Who we've up to this point, we've got Ampadu, Firpo, and James. I would say it's more of a 3.5 with Solomon personally. Or am I? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Where have I put that number?
Oh dear, it's all gone wrong.
Right, okay.
One misclick and everything's gone wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Growth and development, lads. I think, we've only. I think it's a 0.
Yeah.
He's not really improved, has he?
Better. He's been fine, but he's not got better. He's not grown, has he?
Now, I think this should be 5 clutch because he, like we've been said here, hang on, scored against Sheffield United at home and Sunderland away. No, they're other way around that.
He scored twice against Sunderland, didn't he, when he came on? Yeah, exactly. He's been Mr. Clutch this season, I swear. Yeah,
he tucked us over that line, was it?
Yeah.
It is as well. 1-1 draw with Blackburn, he got the goal. Sheffield United 2-0 win, he got a goal. First game of the season, the 3-3, he got a goal. Yeah, he's clutching there, let's be honest.
Yeah.
I mean,
is he a 5?
That Sunderland game alone is a 5.
Yeah, that's what I mean. For me, that moment is like, it's better than the 7-0, that goal, bam, it's 5. Yeah, I think so. Right, okay. Well, that bumps him up to 27.5, actually. So he's not done too bad, Struijk, to be honest. Now, what I am going to do, lads, I'm going to stop us there because we've been going for an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. We've still got like 8-9 players left to go. So there's a space
on Joe.
Build
the tension.
Yeah, so there's a space on Tuesday for it if these lads can do it. Hopefully they can Tuesday evening. Around about 8 o'clock or something, if you lads can do it, if you're around. If not, I can move it around for you. But I do think we'll finish the rest there because otherwise this video will end up being about 2.5 hours and people won't watch it for full length and that. So I think this is a good way to stop it. So up to this point then, folks, from lowest to highest, we have Gruev, 13. Up next is Ramazani with 7. No, Byram with 16, then Ramazani 17, Ampadu 18, then you've got Solomon 19.5, Struijk 27.5, Firpo with 32, and James with 33 in terms of our player ratings. Any surprises there? I would say that Struijk being as high above the rest is quite surprising.
Solomon's fuming, isn't he?
Yeah. I'm fuming for him, but. Yeah,
it's Struijk's clutch. What can we say?
Clutch he has, yeah. And like you've mentioned, I probably can't remember, way back at the start of the season, but he was Mr. Consistent there as well. So I think that's fair. But lads, thank you so much for coming on and giving us an hour and a half of your time.
No worries, I enjoyed it.
Thanks.
Thanks. And we'll be back on Tuesday night. I think, folks, is probably going to be the place to to fit it in at 8 o'clock on that night. And then from there on in, it'll be bam, 8 games left to go after that. Wednesday and then Thursday is the presser and all that sort of stuff. So it's back to normal. Normal service resumes next week. But yeah.
Nice.
Does anyone, quick prediction, Jack, does anyone left score higher than our current player of the season based on the ratings, Dan James, for you?
Is this a teaser alert?
It could well be, because I think, because obviously we're doing it not just based on like thing. If you look at the actual topics, I think there could be a few players that actually could get close to him because of clutch and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Durability. I don't think
I'm happy with them as the top 2.
Yeah.
But I believe there will be a couple sneaking in and around, definitely, to put a bit on it.
Yeah, I do. I'm looking at
players to go yet.
Who you're looking at? Locky, I'm thinking, hold on, maybe Joel. You know, they could be up there.
Tanaka.
Yeah, Tanaka, fucking hell, yeah.
Locky will be desperate for Tanaka to win it.
Yeah. Bogle as well, actually.
Five.
Yeah, Bogle, man.
100%.
Are we allowed to, for clutch moments, rank Melier minus? Because I think that's fair enough.
No, we are not.
Yeah, me and Jack are going to control you with that one, Joe.
Yeah, man, I'll fucking minus it. Right, folks, we'll leave it there. Listen, join us on Tuesday. Thanks for joining us tonight, and enjoy the rest of your evening. I am going on with Locks over on Blue Tinted Glasses a little bit later on as well, so make sure you join me for that if you are about. And we'll see you on Tuesday for this one, folks. Bye-bye.